皆さん、こんにちは。日本政府観光局フランクフルト事務所の歓喜と申します。この度は、ドイツの旅行会社による訪日市場ウェビナーの動画をご視聴いただき、誠にありがとうございます。本日は、ドイツにおける旅行市場について、訪日商品を取り扱うドイツのツアーオペレーター3社により、最新状況を交えながらお話しいただきます。本日のプログラムは第3部に分かれており、まずはじめに私よりドイツ市場の概要に加えて、普段からお問い合わせの多いドイツのサステナブルについてご紹介いたします。続いて第2部では、ドイツの旅行会社からのプレゼンテーション。最後の第3部では、フランクフルト事務所の PR マネージャーであるベッティーナによる司会進行のもと、旅行会社とのディスカッションセッションを予定しております。本ウェビナーの実施にあたり、ご質問を事前にお寄せいただきました方につきましては、ご協力のほど誠にありがとうございました。たくさんのご質問をいただきましたので、1部から3部の中で回答ができるように本動画を制作いたしました。それではドイツの市場概況についてです。ドイツの旅行市場をお話しする前に、まずは簡単にドイツ人の思考や特徴についてお話しします。ドイツ人にとって旅行は人生で楽しむためには最も大切と考えられているため、有給休暇を存分に利用して、1年のうち1、2回は約2週間連続で休暇を取る人が多いです。旅行動機の一番の理由としては、日々のルーティンから抜け出したい。2番目には太陽と暖かい気候を求めて旅行します。と言いますのは、ドイツの冬は太陽が9時ぐらいに上がり、夕方4時には暗くなるという日照時間の短さと寒い気候が続くため、この理由が上がってきます。また、ドイツ人の特徴として自然が好きというのが挙げられますが、旅先でビーチリゾートや山でハイキングや散策を好みます。余暇の過ごし方としても、川沿いや緑の茂る公園で散歩をして自然を満喫する人もいれば、季節ごとのフェスティバルを楽しみます。また、コロナ禍を通して環境や社会的なサステナビリティへの意識も高まっています。サステナビリティについては後半お話しいたします。コロナ前の2019年のドイツの旅行市場についてです。先ほどのページで旅行が人生を楽しむための大切な要素とお話ししましたが、それは数値にも表れていて、ドイツは中国に次いで世界で2番目に出国者数の多い海外旅行が大好きな国です。その理由として、例えば人気の旅行先であるスペインやイタリアにフランクフルト空港から2、3時間以内で行ける地理的な環境アクセスの良さも要因にあります。一方、ドイツの旅行市場のうち約8%がロングホールの割合と少なく、そのうち東アジアは 4% とまだ伸びしろが多いことがわかります。なお、アジアで一番人気の旅行先はタイで、ビーチがあり、地中海周辺のリゾートとは一味違う異国情緒が味わい、料金も手頃にため人気があります。続いて、コロナ前の訪日ドイツ市場の概要ですが、コロナ前まで年々訪日客数が伸びていて、2019年は約24万人のドイツ人が訪日しました。初訪日が約7割で、リピーターが3割程度です。訪日の人気シーズンは桜シーズンの春と紅葉があり、季節柄の良い秋が人気です。訪日ドイツ人の平均滞在日数は約2週間と長く、人気の訪問先はゴールデンルートではありますが、最近では白川郷、高野山、宮島、広島、そして沖縄、北海道の人気も高まっています。旅行する際は約9割が一心で宿泊施設や航空券を個人で手配します。訪日ドイツ人は男性が7割と多く、2、30代が役割を占めるため、当事務所では女性をターゲットに挙げたコンテンツ作りも強化しています。訪日前に期待することとして日本食が圧倒的人気で、ドイツでも日本食レストランが多く、スーパーでもお寿司が売られています。旅前の情報収集方法としては、YouTube が一番多いため、当事務所でも動画による情報発信を行っております。旅中ではオンラインで情報を得ることがほとんどです。今後のドイツ市場の、展望ですけれども、ドイツの調査機関の調査によると、来年の全体市場規模としてはコロナ前と同等に戻ると予想していますが、 長距離旅行においては、コロナ前までのボリュームには戻るのはまだまだ難しいと見ています。ここからは環境先進国で知られるドイツとしてよくご質問いただくサステナブルな旅行について少しだけご紹介いたします。ドイツ連邦環境省では消費者ガイドとして環境に配慮した旅行が推奨されています。大きな項目を5つピックアップしました。1つ目は環境基準や社会基準にコミットした旅行会社、旅行商品の選択をすること。欧州ではツアーサート、ドイツではビアボーノといった観光業界における認証制度があり、認証を受けるにはホテルや施設の持続可能な取り組みの評価だけではなく、必要な知識の取得や低評価とされた項目の改善を提案し、最終試験を受ける過程が用意されるため、容易に取得ができないと言われています。特にドイツ人は第三者による評価を受けたサービスに信頼を置く国民性であるため、このような持続可能性認証の取得は、旅行者のサステナブルな旅行の選択の意思決定に効果的と言えます。また、飼育に CO2 を多く排出する動物性食品ではなく、有機食品のメニューを選んで旅行することも推奨しています。その他、アウトドアアクティビティの選択、環境に優しい公共交通機関の利用、そして地元の保護プロジェクトと自然保護区の観察支援を推奨しています。スライドの下に掲載しております調査では、旅行中に SDGs を意識するために、地域や商品サービスの提供者側に希望することの日本とスウェーデンとドイツの比較になります。興味深いのが赤枠の一番左側にあります。世界的な認定機関から持続可能な観光を推奨する旅行としての認証があることを、ドイツ人は日本人よりも提供者側に希望しているというデータになり、先ほどお話ししました消費者ガイドの推奨がドイツ人の意識につながっていることがわかります。その隣の利用する交通機関の CO2 排出量が検索できるということも、ドイツ人と日本人で SDGs の取り組みで提供者側に希望することの違いが大きいことがわかります。利用する交通機関の CO2 排出量の検索というのは、訪日旅行にも関連してくる話になります。訪日旅行では長距離フライトが必ず伴い、ある調査によれば、気候変動へ立ち向かうために、飛行機に乗ることを諦めても良いと思う割合が4割いることがわかります。また、動物性食品、肉食を諦める人が約2割いることがわかります。ちなみにドイツでは10人に1人がベジタリアンかビーガンで、ステーキレストランでさえベジタリアンメニューがあるほど、ベジタリアン、ビーガンの人向けのメニューをよく見かけます。下のスライドでは、二酸化炭素排出量を算出できるアツモスフェアというドイツのプロバイダーのサイトで、自分のフライト情報を入力すると CO2 排出量が表示され、オフセット活動が提示されます。日本で取り組むサステナビリティの活動をドイツ庁にプロモーションする際には、長距離フライトが伴うことをご留意された上で、メッセージを慎重に伝えていくことが大切かと思います。簡単ではございましたが、以上がドイツ市場の概況となります。それでは早速、次の3社のドイツの旅行会社によるプレゼンテーションをお聞きください。3社とも訪日商品を多く取り扱える旅行会社ですので、今の概況がよくわかるかと思います。
Hello everyone. 皆さん、こんにちは。自己紹介いたします。黒須明と申します。ギオプランの代表として、これから英語でプレゼンテーションいたします。よろしくお願いいたします。From now on, I will talk in English and talk about different topics regarding Geoplan and Geoplan's travel business to Japan and the consequences of the pandemic. I will start this presentation with introduction of Geoplan and our guest structure, and I will share some brochures with you so that you can see how we promote tours. Then I will continue with consequences of the pandemic and our sustainability concept and measures. And then I will continue with the guest structure of Geoplan so that you know who travels with Geoplan to Japan and also that you see what kind of tours we've been offering so far and what potentials there are in the future. So first of all, I will give you an introduction of Geoplan. Geoplan is a medium-sized company based in Berlin and specializes in individual tailor-made and private guided tours over in the world. And we have tours to almost any place in the world. And for every area in the world, we have travel experts, and these travel experts also experienced some time in the specific area themselves, and so they can share their experiences with our clients from first hand. And we have around 30 years of experiences, and we have around 40 staff members. Why choosing Geoplan? So what our clients appreciate is that they have one contact person from the very beginning, from the inquiry to the return of the trip. Also, what they like is that they enjoy exclusive trips with a private tour guide and a private driver. We talk directly with our clients about selecting hotels so that we have their choice. And also what we consider every time is that not only the hotel should be what the clients prefer, but also the room categories. So we always consider, for instance, specific views, so that clients needn't talk about this. So that is automatically be done by us, that we suggest the better room categories. Geoplan clients have the flexibility to start their trip according to their time schedule. And we offer full services, which includes visa arrangements if they are necessary, VIP services at the airports, and etc., etc. Talking about who travel with Geoplan, the most inquiries are from two people couple, but we have also friends that two couples are traveling, or families, but mostly we have 2 until 6 traveling people. Mostly they are with higher income and higher education, mostly graduate or postgraduate. They're aged between 40 and 70 years. People contact us from all parts of German-speaking areas, including Austria, Switzerland, Luxembourg, and so on. These are some samples of the brochures we provide. This particular one is about Asia. Introduction to our sustainability concept and the measures. What we also do in Japan is that we focus on local guides, that we try to work with local partners and also with local Minchkus and so on. Yes, so let's talk about Japan more from now on. And our team of Japan now consists of 6 people. And if you see that Geoplan has around 40 staff members in total, so you can see that Japan is obviously a very important destination for Geoplan, and seeing it in numbers in 2019. So just before the pandemic, Japan was Geoplan's top destination, with average tour prices between 3,500 and 5,500 euro per person. We have for Japan guests from all ages, from students to retirees. We have students who save their money for several years just to do a trip to Japan. So the average length of stay is between 13 and 18 days, and what the good thing is in Japan with travel to Japan is that most guests really get fans of Japan and travel more than one time to Japan. And the more times clients travel to Japan, the more individually and the more independent they want to travel. And that's what the good thing is about Geoplan, and because why people choose Geoplan, that we can meet these requirements of the clients, that they can be free and more independent in traveling to Japan. Speaking about most popular destinations within Japan, obviously we have the golden route, which will be the classic Japan tour also in the future. The extension to Okinawa is really popular with Geoplan clients, as they are used to do these kind of beach extensions also in other trips to Asia or over the world. A classic one, which is also booked by many clients of Geoplan, is the train trip. We call it Discover Japan, but train in English. This also includes a trip to Kyushu and to a very remote place where we have local contacts, such as a local guide we are working more than 10 years with, and also a Minchku in a very remote, secluded area. So this is a very popular tour. Talking about possible expansions in Japan or potential for other destinations, as I noticed, we have a lot of repeaters. So the destinations which have potential, we can say about any destinations in Japan, as we have a lot of fans. We have some clients who plan the 5th trip or the 6th trip. I think the record is 13 trips to different places in Japan. So the potential is everywhere. And what I designed is to give clients an idea which parts of Japan accessible. I designed a grand tour Japan, so clients can see what is a tour like if they would visit all the main islands. And this is an idea you can see on our website. We are open to all destinations in Japan, even Ogasawara Islands or Iwate or any place in Japan, as we have a lot of Japan fans who want to see more of Japan. Another sample of our brochure tours is a tour called Modern Cities and Ancient Cultures, and so on and so on. And if we have the question, how can our partners help us improve our tours? I also discussed this topic within our team, and these are some things we collected. And one thing is that sometimes we have clients who travel by their own to Japan, but they want to join a group tour for one day, and then they have the problem that the groups are really big. For instance, the sunrise tours in Tokyo, and our clients are used to travel by themselves or in smaller groups. And so far we were not able to offer a seat-in tour with smaller groups. So that would be an idea, a product idea, which would help, that we can offer it to our clients. Another thing is we have very experienced guides, very experienced German-speaking guides, of course, in Tokyo and Kyoto, also in Hiroshima and other places. But as we offer tours more and more also in other areas, it would be helpful if we got also licensed German-speaking guides in these areas. Another thing which is not easy to provide, obviously, is that we'd love to have a non-stop flight from Europe to Okinawa. As you can see, the clients our clients love to spend some relaxing days in the end. Another thing a colleague mentioned is that it would be helpful to have one link where she can see at one glance all local festivals in Japan, so that they can suggest the right timing for our guests for the specific areas. And one last thing is sometimes we get wonderful invitations to fam trips, and also we are regularly invited to travel marts. But the point is sometimes the timing does not fit to our selling period. For instance, me personally, I was often invited to a fam trip to Hokkaido. I've never been to Hokkaido before, but the invitations were only for February. And the selling period, the main selling period in tourism in Europe is from December to middle of March. So it is not very useful if we get invitations during this time, as we cannot go to Japan within this period because we have to sell the trips to Japan to our clients in that period. And also for travel marts, I think it would be helpful if we discuss before how we design a travel mart in Japan, so that more and more retailers get to Japan to spend their time at the travel marts there. So that's for now my presentation. If you have questions, you can send an email to me or you can call me, and hopefully we can start selling Japan once again, because our clients really want to come back to Japan.
Konnichiwa, welcome. I'm happy to be here in this webinar and introducing to you Diamir Erlebnisreisen, and just starting with the presentation because we have limited time. I want to show you the opportunities and potentials of the German travel market for Japan as a tourist destination by introducing first myself shortly. My name is Jens Winter. I work with Diamir Erlebnisreisen as product and sales manager. Actually, I started as tour guide in Japan in 2009. I did my first tour in Japan as a tour guide for a culture and trekking tour. And I have a kind of a double role in tourism. I work also as a representative for KISO on target tourism on the German-speaking markets. That means I do this on freelance base to represent this region and point out the values of this special region in the Japanese Alps. To our company, Diamir is called Erlebnisreisen. That means experience travels. Its founding year is 2000. That means we are celebrating soon our 23rd birthday. Our main office is located in Dresden. We have branch offices in Leipzig, Munich, and Berlin. I'm located in Leipzig. You see our employees. Before Corona, we had about 140 employees. After Corona, we have already back 90 employees working for us. The reason why we survived this crisis quite in a good way is that we are offering a lot of destinations, more than 130 destinations, and have a lot of experts working for us. They have good ideas and all the special knowledge of all the different destinations we offer. To give you a short inside view, here is a picture of our team, and we're all working together, having a great atmosphere, and mostly young, mid-aged people, all dedicated to their destinations and what they do, and that makes the spirit of our company. Our strengths are especially the selection of travel topics, which are extraordinary, authentic experiences, individual outdoor activities, hiking, trekking, also mountaineering. We have nature and safari tours and culture, usually in the mix, but also a good range of special interest tours. Our specialty is we operating limited and small packs groups. That means usually 99% of our products have a maximum packs number of 12 people. And these are best-selling tours and special interest tours. And we do tailor-made FIT products as well. means like creating products for clients who require special itineraries for their needs, for every taste and budget. We have direct sales and over travel agencies in all German-speaking countries in Europe. That means especially Germany, Swiss, and Austria. Some facts and figures. Our clients are travel-hungry, solvent, best agers and LOHAs. People who are able to pay a fair price for a perfect design trip and special moments. What that means is you see me here in front of Mount Fuji, and it's obviously not summer season. It is end of May. You see it, and the snow is still on the top of the mountain. We offer this special things for our clients because they know we are the company who do something like this. We climb Mount Fuji in the off season to give clients an authentic mountaineering experience with less people and feeling alone in the nature with a small group. We have direct customers and travel agencies, as I mentioned already, partners in the German-speaking countries. About 2/3 go through direct sales and 1/3 we have agencies selling our products. Our revenue was 2019 before Corona about 40 million euros and 12,000 pax traveling with us all over the world. In Japan, in the same year, it was around 400 pax and 300 million euro revenue. Development of the pax numbers before and COVID until now, you can see here the crash in 2020, but you see 2022, we're already back on the way to doing well, we can say this. And reason for that is especially Africa and destinations, we do safaris, and so they keep us alive over the crisis. And if we would just focus on Asia, we might maybe not survive Corona. So this is a good thing. And now we're coming back on stage with Asia as well. Some words about our sustainability approach. You can see in this figure that we have quite a complex model of taking care of this sustainability topic. We do social, environmental, and economy efforts to be responsible, and all the different aspects you can see from strategy to post-processing. We are taking care of carbon footprint. We're investing money in a forest in Canada, saving nature with this money, and we're also taking care of like the working conditions of taking care that we are not working with people who are not right paid or any kind of suppression. Also, we have some long-lasting business relations and trying to do everything which is necessary to save energy, quality management. You can go back on this figure maybe later with a bit more time. Now I want to introduce our Japan portfolio. What we offer, we have 11 group tours, 6 to 12 packs per group, and the average travel time is between 2 and 3 weeks. Our selling price is between 3,500 and 5,500 euros. We have a few seating coach tours with bigger groups just for people who have just a smaller budget to travel to Japan. But here I'm talking about our best-selling tours, which are small group tours. First of our best-selling tours, 21-day trekking and hiking culture tour. We start in South Japan, Yakushima, going all the way up to Tokyo and climbing also Mount Fuji in the off-season. And this is our most successful tour. It means also always a change between culture days and hiking and trekking days. Second best-selling tours is our hiking and culture through old Japan. Here we have kind of a golden route tour in combination with some hikes in Kiso Valley, in Kumano-Kodo, and also seeing Mount Fuji and visiting Matsumoto and Hakuba for some hikes. This is also very popular, this tour, to mix this golden route topic with activities and nature. And of course, we have a classic golden route tour. But also here we are going through Kiso Valley and having like this nature and culture experience. and doing some extras like samurai experience in Nagoya, or in Nomiya we see a bonsai. So that are our 3 best-selling tours, and we have a steadily increasing PAX number, especially for FIT inquiries. And last but not least, I want to introduce our special interest tours. These are tours which are just happening once in a year. The first one is a very successful tour, and people are in waiting line for that. Photographers tour in Hokkaido, where you can see all the wildlife in Hokkaido in February. We're sending a professional photographer, and you have a kind of a workshop atmosphere there where people travel with a camera and learn how to make the how to make the right pictures. Second tour is in the middle here. You see the first cherry blossom in Kawasu in February already. And at the same time, there's a Naked Man Festival in Okayama, and we can see the snow monkeys as well. And this is also a very special tour, which feeds the needs of people who want to combine these experiences of cherry blossom and snow monkeys, and having this special festival as well. And the third one is a 9-day anime and cosplay convention trip. It's just in Tokyo, but it is dedicated to the biggest anime convention in Tokyo, which happens in March every year, for people who are interested in that topic. And there are a lot in German-speaking markets, millions actually. And FIT trends after Corona, especially self-guided tours, means that people don't need guide all the way through, but they're guiding themselves, and we are providing the travel package. Self-drive tours, especially in Kyushu and Hokkaido, and travel with children becomes quite popular. Here, just short overview of our group tours, small group tours. You see mainly it is Honshu, mainland Japan, and a few going to Hokkaido and Yakushima as well. To answer a few questions about the most popular destinations within Japan for our clients, it is Tokyo, Kyoto, of course, Hiroshima. You can read by yourself here the cities and regions. Especially in the regions, we have like Koyasan with the temple stay, Kiso Valley. It's a bit my fault that it became popular, and Kumano-Kodo for some hikes and exploring culture, Kyushu and Hokkaido as well for repeaters. Especially Kyushu and Hokkaido is more interesting for repeaters. For first timers, if you have enough time as well. 58% we have first-time visitors, and 10% we have repeaters. The good question is, especially regarding over-tourism, what has to be done to make other regions popular than the already well-known regions people are traveling or want to travel? My advice would be find adequate alternatives to present Japan's characteristic key images to tourists. This is my experience from representing Kiso. The example is, you might have seen in our tours, we're never going to Shirakawa-go or Takayama. It doesn't mean that it's not a beautiful destination, but it's suffering an over-tourism. And if you want to experience like backcountry in Japan, for our clients, FITs and small groups, it's better to visit Kiso Valley because it is just more suitable for them, and it's more authentic, and you have less tourists like buses stopping there because there's no capacity to host more than 20 people in a hotel or in a ryokan, right? So if you find more places where you have triggering these key images like geisha, the bonsai, the samurai, the backcountry, old Japan, Japan is so full of treasures, and people just need to learn that it's not the already well-known places to be visited. And just put your strengths together, put your marketing money together, and not promoting single places or single prefectures, but creating routings and tours which make sense. Accessibility is a big question in tourism, so that would be my advice or idea how to make things better. And if just want to not leave out that we have a quite active marketing in our company, and we do a lot of promotion for Japan. We have a landing page called Japan.de with all the destination relevant informations for the destination. We talk about what you need to know before you travel to Japan, and introducing national parks, even mountains, hiking, islands, beaches, places to go. And we have cooperations with DMOs here like Shizuoka, Kiso, Setouchi or Okinawa, and highlighting different topics there, which you can find in our products later. And that makes sense to promote something which we already serve in our products as well, to move more clients to Japan. So thank you for your patience. I hope I'm not over time, and want to finish with my last slide here. Thank you. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Hello, everybody, and a warm welcome from Munich in Germany. My name is Holger Baldus. I'm the area manager for East Asia at Studiosus and Marco Polo Reisen. First of all, a big thank you to the colleagues at the JMTO office in Frankfurt for inviting me over here. And I'm going to present you my company, the company I'm working for, Studiosus, in the next couple of minutes. So let's start onto a ride through about 70 years of our history. We are a family-owned tour operator. We were founded in 1954, and back in the 50s, we first operated cultural group tours for students of the local university to the Mediterranean, to Italy and Greece. And if you wonder how it looked like that back in the 50s. So on the left side, you see our first office. Quite basic, and on the right side, one of our first buses that took those lucky travelers in the 50s down to the sunny south of Europe. On the right, you now see our current headquarters in Munich, and I'm sitting right in this building at this moment. We are now managed by the second generation of our owners. The third generation, it's already on its way. It's about to take over, I guess, within the next 2 or 3 years. We have about 300 employees and around 550 tour guides worldwide. Pre-pandemic, we used to operate about 100,000 guests a year, which makes us, or made us, the largest tour operator for escorted cultural tours in Europe. For 2022, we currently estimate about 50,000 guests. So about half of what we used to have. But that's already quite a good outlook from our point of view. Our head office is in Munich, and our local sales are done through travel agencies in Germany, Austria, Switzerland, Luxembourg, and Northern Italy, so in the German-speaking market only. Plus, of course, we do have online sales on our websites and our call center. We have 2 brands. But in general, we first of all have 70% of our business is group tours. Our 2 brands are Studiosus and Marco Polo. Some of you may remember already Marco Polo Reisen, as a very traditional, long-established tour operator over here in Germany. It used to be owned by different persons. It used to be positioned in the greater Frankfurt region, was founded also in 1956, so only 2 years after Studiosus. We took them over back in the early 2000s and integrated them into our business over here in Munich. So what do we offer? Under the brand of Studiosus, we offer worldwide escorted group tours, also known as study tours. However, we don't really use the German word for study tours anymore. So we now speak of Studiosus tours as kind of trademark. You can call them escorted cultural group tours. That's what they are. And our USP are definitely our excellent tour guides, as I told you, about 550 tour guides worldwide. We specially choose them, we specially train them around the world and in our head office. Our biggest destinations have always been European destinations, mainly Italy, France, Spain, Portugal, but also nature-oriented destinations such as Iceland. We do have different product lines and for different target groups. Our main market are the classical tours for best agers. We do also have tours for single travelers, family tours, where we send Well, yeah, families with kids, mothers with kids, fathers with kids, or grandparents with grandchildren, very popular, on trips, mainly through Europe, but also in the long-haul market. Plus, we do have weekend city stays in Europe and concert and festival tours, event tours. We offer full service packages, including transport, guiding, entrance fees, events, accommodation, meals, of course. And by the way, we currently carbon offset our tours by 100%, including the flights. Also, for example, to Japan, we include carbon offset for long distance flights. We position ourselves as a high quality, intellectual, upmarket, but not luxurious tour operator. When we come to Marco Polo, it's a different story and a whole different tonality. Under Marco Polo, we offer worldwide group tours and FITs. Our main destinations are long-haul destinations in Asia, Africa, and South America. Also under Marco Polo, we have different product lines for different target groups, such as our discovery tours, mainly for couples and singles aged 40 to 60. So what I really want to highlight over here, that these tours are made for people right in their working life. This is quite different compared to most of the tours we operate under the Studiosus brand. And under Marco Polo, we have another very successful product line called Young Line Travel for adventurous travelers aged 20 to 35. Plus, we have tailor-made FIT programs. We see ourselves as a high service tour operator or brand. Our packages include transport, guiding, soft adventure events, especially for Young Line Travel, accommodation, meals, and also this brand carbon offsets the tours by 100%, including flights. We position ourselves as a more budget-oriented, reliable quality operator. Marco Polo is definitely soft adventures, it's younger. A little bit different is our FIT product, which is honestly speaking a smaller product. This product is really upmarket and very upmarket. I was asked to tell you a little bit about the pandemic operations throughout the last 2 years. We do have a very strict safety and hygiene management for transport, accommodation, meals, and visits. We already back in 2020 started special trainings for our tour guides. And until the very day, in case of a positive testing on a tour, we immediately segregate the positive person, not the guest or the tour guide, just in case, from the group. So these persons cannot continue the trip. Since 2021, only fully vaccinated guests are accepted on our tours. And well, when I look back into the first year of the pandemic, 2020, we just had a few operations, and these were mainly in Germany and Austria. Back in these days, we created a lot of additional programs right after the start of the pandemic, really tailor-made for the situation. Everything was contracted after the beginning of the pandemic. In 2021, situation really looked a little bit better. We extended our operations to a number of European destinations. However, short-term cancellations or adjustments were often necessary due to the ever-changing rules and lockdowns in the countries. So you were never sure until the day of departure if a group was really able to travel. This year, fortunately, it looks a bit different. Worldwide travel is really back, but there's still amongst our customers an emphasis on European destinations. The customers really try to maintain a buffer zone to Russia. They avoid getting closer to the Russian border because of the horrible war going on in Ukraine. Long-haul travel is mainly restricted to South America and Southern Africa for the time being. Asia is really weak, mainly due to the late opening or the long lockdowns. Yeah, and travelers or tour guides that face a positive COVID test right before or during their trips are really no exception. It's more or less everyday life nowadays. And I have to admit that in Europe, we have quite a lot of countries where we have no compulsory measures anymore. However, as I told you before, once we have a positive case, this case is segregated and cannot continue to travel in the group. Well, and to summarize it a little bit, in Europe, we now really try to accept COVID and live with it. When it comes to sustainability, that's the second big topic these days. Sustainability has been a major topic inside our company for decades now, and hundreds of measures have been implemented in our tours ever since. So I can really admit that sustainability is a part of our DNA, and we also have our own NGO for cultural, social projects around the world. We are a founding member of the Roundtable Human Rights and Tourism. We won quite a number of social responsibility awards and have all the typical certifications tour operators should have nowadays. When it comes to our business in Japan, we currently offer 10 different group series to Japan, plus an FIT extension on Ishigaki-jima. All target groups, I pointed out before, covered from the young travelers up to the best agers. And our group sizes, they vary depending on the product line. So we sometimes even start with 6 guests, total maximum is 25 guests. And the duration varies somewhere between 10 in the minimum and 17 days in the maximum. The price range for a tour to Japan, including flights from Germany, ranges from 2,700 euros up to 6,500 euros per person, double accommodation. 40% roundabout of our tours are operated with a chartered bus in Japan, plus of course certain train rides. However, 60% of our tours are operated with public transportation only. You can imagine we use the Japan Rail Pass, but this is not the only pass we use. So we are aware of all those fascinating tourist passes you have available in Japan for tourists coming from foreign countries. So we use them really extensively. We also use DMCs in Japan, but to be honest, those routes or our routes and programs, they're designed by us according to our standards. So we always have, I call it the cooking recipes for each product line. And we know the recipes and we know the countries. And so we create the products and order them in cooperation with DMCs in Japan. So we have lots of discussions and meetings, but we try to realize our ideas. So I give you an example of one of our tours under the Studiosus brand, a very successful tour which starts in Tokyo. You see the routing on the map. It's very detailed. It goes down Honshu, down to Hiroshima, then crosses over to Shikoku Island. It also includes a visit to Naoshima Art Island, and then goes back to the Greater Kansai region. When it comes to Marco Polo, I told you we have this Young Line product, and this is, for example, the Young Line route going from Kyushu, from Fukuoka, on the land, by train, by public transportation, all the way back to Tokyo. 90% of our travelers to Japan are first-time visitors, and I have to admit that even repeaters want to see a few typical highlights again, such as Kyoto or Tokyo. So really, travelers always focus on Honshu, which is a little bit sad, I know, but this is the reality. Destinations such as Naoshima or Kanazawa have become really popular, and we are really happy about that. We love to see more destinations on different islands as well. We know that Kyushu would be a logical addition. Unfortunately, only Fukuoka is well connected to international air traffic when we look upon connections between Europe and Japan. Hokkaido is often named by our guests. Could be a next possible destination. On the other side, its highlights are really unknown to our public. And as we are all aware, seasonality on Hokkaido is different. So generally speaking, infrastructure in Japan, from our point of view, is simply perfect. Transportation is widely available, and you have got a perfect choice of accommodation. Simply the future destinations that are possible are currently lacking awareness among our population over here in Germany. Japan is really virtually unknown beyond Tokyo and Kyoto. And it's an extremely spread out country. Travelers only have a certain time and a certain budget at their disposal. So these are the limiting factors in the end. Well, that's it from my side. Thanks a lot for listening, and take care.
Ja, thank you very much to Holger Baldus from Studiosus Reisen, Jens Winter, Diamir Reisen, and Akira Proske from Geoplan Privatreisen. Very warm welcome, and thank you very much for taking your time to answer to the numerous questions of our Japanese partners who are very much interested in our webinar, and are very happy to take this opportunity to ask direct questions and get direct answers from those people in Germany who have the first-hand experience with the travelers to Japan. Thank you very much again, and let's start with the first question. Our partners from Japan very much would like to know what your customers are interested most in. So the question is, what do your customers inquire most about Japanese travel products? For example, Corona measures, food, nature, outdoor activities, other activities, and how popular and in demand are the contents such as activities, food, and cultural experiences? Maybe Holger, would you like to start with answering these questions?
Yes, I can certainly do so, Bettina. Thanks a lot. So, what do they mostly inquire about at the moment? Right now, of course, it's the Corona measures. How is travel, group travel, possible in Japan again after the opening? And especially, how does it look in the detail? Because there were so many restrictions and not everything was clear how it's going to be on the spot, on location. So how would it be? And to hear first experiences from the first customers or the first groups on their way in Japan. So this is the most important thing for the time being. I think that's going to change again to much more normal, traditional questions or interests. But for the time being, that's the most important point, because the strict Corona measures initiated by the government or the authorities of Japan are very different to the Corona measures in place in Europe or other long-haul destinations. So for us, it's like a trip back 1.5 years or 2 years ago, and we have to think the same strategies again, like we did in the beginning of the pandemic. But somehow we are going to make it. And normally they ask a lot about, of course, the infrastructure, how, especially when we travel by train, how does it work, and where to leave the luggage and such things, how is it organized, because they are not so well aware of that. So these are more those traditional questions. Also regarding accommodation when it comes to ryokan or minshuku accommodation, which always leaves a few questions open to our customers. And I'm sure we're going to get back to these again very soon, once we are back into normal operations.
Thank you very much, Holger. Anyone else? Jens, would you like to give some input as well? What do your customers want to know?
So I would agree with Holger. It's almost the same. The major question is how to travel, and is it possible to travel, especially in groups and FIT. This is a big question because of all the regulations and the bureaucracy we have to handle. This is the biggest challenge in the moment, and the clients rely to our informations and whatever we can help them with to do their journey or to travel in Japan, right? And the second most is, of course, what is open, what is closed. Is it possible to climb Mount Fuji in off season? Is it or is it locked? Or which kind of sightseeing is possible? Or is it regulated to go by train? And all these questions. So it's kind of, yeah, I would agree with Holger. The most things you say is the same inquiries we have here for tours to Japan. But people are very, very ready to go to Japan. We have a lot of inquiries, and yeah, they just wonder when it will be possible without all the regulations, or will it be better soon?
Yeah. Thank you very much, Jens. Akira, any further insights from your side?
Yeah, actually, as we are specialized in FITs, we are mostly hit by the pandemic measures. And well, I think what would really be helpful is to get exact information, because we are asked by many clients, okay, what does group mean? What are the real conditions to get a visa for Japan? And also, is there any plan for free traveling in the future, and when can it start? So there is still the same information as it is in June. I think it would be really helpful if we get updates from week to week or month to month, so clients are better informed.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think I can put up as a summary. Many clients at the moment are very much interested in traveling to Japan, but the problem is that the restrictions in place are keeping them from realizing their travel plans. And I think what Akira-san said, that if you can get more updates from head office on what the situation is, and if there is any feedback from the groups and from the travelers who have been actually under restrictions in Japan, and what can be improved, then we could get an update and definitely would share with you. Thank you very much. Maybe we proceed to the next question. For many catalog products, the Golden Route is one of the most important itineraries in Japan: Tokyo, Kyoto, the Fuji, Japanese Alps, and Hiroshima. Many of our webinar partners in Japan, they ask, is it possible to attract visitors from Germany to other regions? And what are popular destinations for German visitors outside the Golden Route? And whom should the partners in Japan target in Germany for areas other than the Golden Route? Is there a special clientele you think which is more open to itineraries which are off the Golden Route? This is something our partners in Japan are very much interested in to know. So maybe Jens, I think Diamir has a lot of itineraries which are definitely off the Golden Route. Maybe you could give some insights in what your customers are after and which itineraries are popular for them.
Yes, thank you for the question. Indeed, it is a problem for operators who are focusing on individual travel FITs, same like Geoplan does, and we're doing small groups and trying to leave the hidden path, right? So finding some places where people still be attracted, but usually the situation is like clients have no good idea what to require, right? Because they don't know what is there. They have key images in their head usually. And so our experience is, if you feed these key images, like what is the image of Japan for a tourist point of view, usually you have things like bonsai, geisha, samurai, calligraphy, Mount Fuji, Zen, onsen. These kind of things might be known somehow, but they don't know how to, place it on the map or where to experience it. So, and I think this is the way or the approach how to reach the clients. If you present regions, doesn't matter if they are on the classical golden route or not, where you can experience such things, then they're usually interested and say, wow, I want to see this. Well, it seems like it's not the place where everyone is going, right? And I think this is also a bit of a misconception. Other markets might work in that way, that where everyone is going, all the others want to go. I think European, especially German market, is a bit the opposite way. Tourists usually want to go to places which not many other tourists have ever explored, and but how to introduce them to that places, that's a big question. And I think the key images and the key words are important, and especially creating an itinerary and a mixture. It's not just that people want to go in the back country and don't see any of the main sites to avoid mass of tourists, but the combination of these places is the key for our experience. Like, you go, of course, you have to go to see the Golden Temple in Kyoto and such places which are quite popular. But if you just reduce it to that, what makes a difference in our product to other tour operators and other competitors? So everyone creating his own idea of finding regions which are not well known but still very potent to show up Japan.
Thank you very much. Holger, would you like to add something?
With pleasure. Yes, I totally agree with Jens when it comes to the mixture. It's part of a recipe, of a company recipe. Each company should have, each tour operator should have, and most of us do have. So we know that most of our customers, they only have a very limited time. Japan has a reputation of a very expensive destination, which is only part true, for sure, we all know that, but in the public, most people will think, ooh, it's a very, very expensive destination. So, and it's far away, especially these days with this extended flight times, it's even further away than before. So people try to reduce their stay or will try to reduce their stay. And so they will usually only be there in Japan on the spot, on location for 12, 13 days maximum. And then they want to see the must-sees, like Jens said, the Golden Temple, yes. And maybe they want to stroll through Ginza, yes. And then you have just a limited slot left for real nice things, which make your own recipe. So what we never do is we never combine the best hidden secrets to one tour, because that would never sell, especially not for such a faraway destination. So of course, we in our tourism, in the tourism industry, we know a lot of fantastic places in Japan. We would always highly recommend to go instead of going, for example, to Tokyo or going to Kyoto, but it wouldn't sell. So it always has to be a mixture, an attractive mixture, and we have to put it into a reasonable schedule and itinerary. And the last thing I would like to point out is Japan is very special because of its geography. It has a very long north-south expansion and a very different seasonality. So to get Kyushu and Hokkaido under the same seasonality, it's quite a problem from the product point of view. So it's not so easy, and it's definitely not easy to overcome some obstacles.
Thank you very much. Akira, do you have something you would like to add?
Yeah, I think the concept needn't be just the Golden Route or any other route apart from Golden Route. It's always Golden Route plus, I would say. And I think for the Japanese market, a tour concept has only 7 days. Yeah, so the concept of the Golden Route is 7 days, and the thinking is only of 7 days. So, but that does not this is not the same for the German market. I'm a little bit different from Holger's opinion on that the time is reduced. We have more and more retirees in Germany, and they have time and also the budget to stay longer in Japan. So and especially if the flight is longer than 12, 13 hours as it is at the moment, clients would stay longer in Japan. And I think the concept can be of an itinerary of about 17, 18 days. And of course, there is space for Golden Route Plus. But what is important is the access of the plus destinations, I would say. You have to combine it with Osaka or Kyoto, and by train or by other means of transport. So that is what the other destinations have to keep in mind, that it is easy to access, and also the information in the internet should be good in internet, because the clients like to make research on their own. And also the hotels should be open to foreign customers, especially the ryokan, because sometimes clients feel insecure if they can enter a ryokan, if they cannot speak any Japanese, and so on. So I think that's my input on this.
Thank you very much, Akira, for the question of accommodation. We are getting to it later on. Just one question for understanding. So I think, Akira, your clients are mostly traveling independently and with public transportation in Japan. Is that correct? So that is why access is for them so important. Is that correct?
Yes, especially if they have a Japan Rail Pass. So we need destinations which are like within 2 or 3 hours from the next destinations. Clients would not go there by bus and train for about six hours. So there is no. So of course there are remote parts in Japan which would not fit to a golden route. So that's why, for instance, we make a separate tour for Hokkaido for repeaters.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Let's proceed to the next question. What kind of information would be helpful or useful for you when introducing potential customers for Japan? Do you have any advice for the Japanese local governments on how to make the regions attractive for the German market? Maybe I should just add, we get this question so many times. There are so many local governments. They always have budget of their own. They all would like to use this budget to market their destination to the overseas markets. And we always get this question. So what can we do? What do we need to provide in order to attract visitors from overseas, and on this special occasion from Germany? So does anyone would like to answer to this? Do you have some idea? Jens, please kindly let us know what do you think on that.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. I'm really happy about this question, because you know that I had as a freelance person the representation for Kiso on Take on the German-speaking market. That was the reason why I was also in contact with Holger and Akira before, together with Takashi Yamada, and I experienced this in this role extremely, like what it means to have a budget for a certain region. And how to proceed, how to attract the market and the clients of certain type of tour operators for that region, right? I see the biggest problem in this separation. I think cooperation is needed. Cooperation is needed between all these efforts, and there are big and great and good efforts in all different destinations, prefectures, and however you want to call the regions. Accessibility, is a very important point, like Akira pointed out. This is the first question which will be asked by tour operators, by clients. How can I reach this, right? Do I need to go by local bus? And that creates problems. If you go with your Japan Rail Pass, and we use Japan Rail Pass and going by public transport, especially with trains, with our groups as well. I think many German tour operators do that because it's quite comfortable and it's very convenient. So it's the best way to travel in Japan, even with groups up to 15, 16 people. I would say like it is possible, and we do this since many years. So accessibility is the key point actually for all the destinations. And then look over your borders, look left, north, east, west, and look what is next. What combinations you can find. If you have a culture experience or if you have a nature and activity experience, what is the next station people go to potentially? Example, Kiso is you reach it from Tokyo, and you can continue to Nagoya or to Kyoto easily, or you can go stop over in Matsumoto. So you must take this in account if you're promoting something, and not just promoting a single spot and leave everything around behind, right? I think this is for my opinion, the best advice we could give, like cooperate together and put your budget together and just creating itineraries, creating ideas of travel topics, of whatever, you can be creative if you cooperate with each other and not just using single budgets for single places, right? So.
Thank you very much, Jens. I think that's a very good point. It would be definitely a good idea to have not only one prefecture, one region, but maybe more regions cooperating and setting up attractive itineraries for the customers, because, well, the customers want to see many places in Japan, and they need to know how to combine it. Would anyone like to add something to what Jens said? Is there any other point you would like to make? Yeah, Akira?
I think a very, very good example was Kumano Kodo. Maybe you all know what kind of tourism activity they did. They have a wonderful platform, and when they launched, I had no idea of Kumano Kodo, but on one page they have everything on. They have model itineraries. They have a big all the timetables, and you can download everything with one click, and so it is really fun to explore the region. So that is a very good example how to make tourism marketing in Japan. And I also agree with Jens, if the regions are not only thinking from prefecture to prefecture, but also as a whole region, they can do a really nice itinerary of 1 week or 2 weeks, and so it is really attracting foreign tourists.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Akira. I think that's a very valuable point. I agree that Wakayama and with the Kumano Kodo platform really has set a very good example on which maybe other partners can have a look. Holger, do you would like to add something on that?
No, actually not, because I absolutely agree with both of them.
Okay.
Now also the Kumano Kodo example is perfect because I encountered it myself on the spot and when planning for customers. It's absolutely true. It's a best practice for Japan. Yes.
Fine. Thank you very much. Another question, which is which Akira has been addressing already a little bit, is what are the deciding factors when choosing accommodation? That's a very important part of the group package of group or FIT package for Japan. Do your customers prefer ryokan or hotels? What do your customers look for in terms of accommodation? And what materials of information would be helpful to have beforehand in order to make a choice? Maybe we start with the question, ryokan or hotel, what is your opinion, and what do you think that Japan, the regions, the prefectures, JNTO should provide in terms of availability and information? Holger, please.
Yes, when it comes to the choice between ryokans and hotels, for us, it's a very easy choice because of our customers, of our clientele. Most of our customers are a little bit older and they are not used to sleep on a tatami. So they all wish a certain authenticity when it comes to accommodation. So when they travel once in their lifetime to Japan, they of course want to stay for one night at least in a ryokan or in shuku. But honestly speaking, after 1 or 2 nights, it's enough for them. That's our experience, because they don't feel well sleeping that way. It needs some time to get accustomed to it. And sometimes before they would wish more overnight stays in such places, but in the end, their bodies don't comply with this. So our experience is to include 1 or 2 nights, also with the experience of onsen and of course of living in a ryokan from the arrival onwards, to follow the rules and to enjoy the ryokan life, including the dinner and the breakfasts there. So that's a very important part, but most of the time they will be staying in 3 or 4 star hotels. The more budget-oriented customers or groups, they will stay in the business class hotels, and the other ones are going to stay in the 4-class hotels. And then accessibility is the most important part, especially when we are traveling with the railways based on the Japan Rail Pass. And there's a huge choice nowadays. I mean, we all know that there have been a lot of new hotels in the Japanese market, and especially the 3-star sector has improved a lot throughout the last years. And we have a wide choice with a very high quality.
One question, because that is also part of what I see in Japan. Well, it's concerning mostly the 4 and 5-star accommodations, but even in ryokan, there is a trend in Japan to, well, a little bit modernized version of ryokan, meaning they have low but beds, and not the normal, the customary tatami futon situation. How about that one? What is your customers' feedback to the modernized version of ryokan?
It's okay for them. We use them for our more upmarket series. Then we use them, and the feedback is okay. But still, they will be sitting on the ground for dinners and so on. And then we have the same problem once again. Well, we are all in this round. We are all not that old yet, so we just have to estimate how they feel when we have travelers about 75 years old or 70 years old, how they are going to feel sitting on the ground and getting up again and so on. So that can be problematic. Youngsters, they don't have any problem with that at all.
Thank you very much. Anyone else would like to add something? Akira?
I think really cruel point on ryokans is, and especially in the current situation, do they want foreigners or don't they want foreigners? Yeah, are they afraid of foreigners or are they open to foreigners? That is very crucial. And in other ryokan, I see the changes over the years. I stayed in one ryokan near Kumamoto within a period of 10 years, and the first time I was there, one of my retailer clients asked for bread, and they said, "No, we are a ryokan. We have no bread." Yeah. The third time I was there, they have croissants and everything. So yeah, I think if ryokan decides to be open to foreign guests, also in Kiso, I experienced that they are very open. Yeah, then it is not a problem to work with foreign and German clients. But we have to know, do they want us or don't they want us?
Thank you very much. Jens?
Yes, I would like to add something. I agree with a lot of things like Holger and Akira say. But coming back to the question and like factors choosing the accommodation, I would say like especially our company is focused on the experience, right? So for our clients, accommodation is not the first thing what they are thinking about when they are going to a country. They're thinking more about what is the content of the itinerary, what program, what activities are offered, and this kind of things. Accommodation matter in the way that it must be in a good standard and nothing to complain about. But after that, of course, I agree with Holger as well. It must be a ryokan in each tour. If you leave this out, you will not sell it, right? Because people want to experience ryokan overnight, 1 or 2 nights. Sometimes if we have more groups which do more hiking and trekking, we also do a temple stay, which is also similar to ryokan experience. And yeah, that is important part to experience this traditional way of Japanese life, and then I agree with Akira also about how to transform the hospitality of ryokans in the way that they want to have the bookings from foreign clients. Even we have in Kiso ryokans, they offer vegetarian food for people who require it. And I think this is a lot of steps forward in this direction, but it is still difficult to get the booking confirmation and reservations of ryokans compared with normal hotels. Right? And I would not say that is a choice. Do German clients like more ryokans or more modern Western hotels? It depends on the product you create, and it is always a mixture. And there will not be a tour where you have pure ryokan overnights, right? Because it will be too expensive and nobody will see why it is so expensive, because you have to explain the ryokan overnight is quite costly. So it will always be a mixture and to present the varieties in Japan.
Yeah, Akira, you would like to add something?
Yes, I would like to add one point concerning smoking and non-smoking rooms. German clients really prefer non-smoking rooms, and non-smoking rooms mean that it is not a smoking room deodorized, because in Japan there's sometimes the opinion that a deodorized room is okay to non-smokers, but it is not. And especially in the ryokan, we have sometimes the feedbacks of clients. It smells like a smoker's room.
Thank you very much. I think that's a very good point. That's definitely something the accommodation owners should be taking into account. The next question that came from partners is maybe one that is especially for Jens. It's also a point that JNTO is planning to promote more actively. It's adventure travel, and that is a question that comes from partners. What is the market potential of adventure travel and sustainable travel, and what kind of activities are of particular interest? What kind of preparation and promotion is required? Maybe I should add, well, adventure travel and outdoor activities is something that JNTO wants to promote more. And we have several budgets and several promotions which are under preparation at the moment for that. For sustainable travel, maybe I should explain that there is a bit of a different meaning in Japan and in Germany. The Japanese colleagues told me that for sustainable travel, they consider also things which are into traditional activities or traditional things that clients are experiencing, like visiting the Ama divers or going hiking, things like that. Sorry, I'm talking too much. Just in general, what do you think? Maybe the question goes first to Jens. What is the market potential of adventure travel and sustainable travel in that regard?
Yeah, we would say we have itineraries which are pointing out these activities, right? That's maybe the question goes first to me. Yeah, the question is, what is adventure and where does it start for which kind of group of clients, right? I mean, for clients above 70, adventure might be a 3 hours trek going from Magome to Sumago in Kiso Valley, right? For others, this might be a joke if you announce it as an adventure, right? So we have to be careful with that. And this is also our kind of topic we have when we are telling clients, okay, this tour is like this or that. I give you an example. We have a tour where we're climbing Mount Fuji in off season. That means if you climb Mount Fuji in May, then you have snow on top and you need to have some, mountain gear and this and that, and you need to have a permission. And this I would call an adventure tour, right? So clients need to be prepared to do that. And we have a lot of clients from other destinations who do expeditions and mountaineering and this and that. So it is not that extreme, but we have kind of a pool of these clients who are interested to do such things, even like backcountry skiing in Japan with the worldwide known powder, right? The snow conditions are unique there, and people who are interested in that, they know this. And we had groups there for backcountry skiing, and we have the expertise to do that. So if you call this adventure, yes, it has potential, but our experience is also that you're not just focus on this one topic, because if people go to Japan, it's a long way to travel. And even if they are just skiing and they're heading for the snow, they want to see some culture, they want to go some other places in between and visiting Matsumoto or wherever they're nearby in the Japanese Alps. And the mixture is also here for this adventure section, an important thing. So our best-selling tour is a mixture of culture and trekking and hiking, and the Mount Fuji in off-season included. So that means, yeah, even those people who like trekking would never go for trekking only for that reason to Japan. It's not Nepal, right? It's not in the Himalayas where you go only for a trek and then you go back to Germany. You have amounts of culture and interesting things around you in Japan, so you always need to offer the combination. And it has a good potential in different levels of activities and adventures. And the preparation, if you ask for the preparation, or how we can feed the clients with informations before that to make it attractive, it depends on the target group, right? If you have a tour operator like us and we have like an expedition section and we have a mountaineering section, of course we can offer different products than maybe Holger can do with your company, which has different focus and the different target groups also. So it depends on really the knowledge and your partners in Japan, the partners you work with, they have to have the good knowledge and good guides and everything, which is necessary to make this happen, actually. So that was a long text.
Thank you very much. And one more question on that is, so do you think for your company that for the adventure travel, the main incentive, the first point where people get interested is more the outdoor experience or the cultural experience? You said correctly, Japan is not Nepal, so hiking, yes, it's nice, but it's not the experience like you have in Nepal. So is the main, the first point of interest, is it the outdoor activity in Japan that makes your customers interested, or is it? Would it not? You said it would not work without the without the cultural experience. But what is the first point of interest?
Yeah, of course it is the outdoor activity, but you have outdoor activities you can do in Europe as well, right? You can do mountaineering, you can do kayaking, you can do climbing, you can all these things. And of course, these are nice activities. But if you travel to Japan as a German, as a European tourist, you don't do activities which you can do back home as well, right? I mean, you can do this, and we offer in Kiso, we offer the kayaking, but nobody is actually really attracted by it because it costs time, and the time you better spend in Japan to experience things which you cannot experience in Europe or in Germany, right? So that means even kayaking in a beautiful landscape is very nice, but maybe not in Japan, right? So compared to other things, climbing Mount Fuji in off-season is not possible anywhere in the world, right? You need Mount Fuji for it. So this means a unique selling point must be found for these activities, right? Powder skiing and backcountry skiing with Japanese powder is just possible in Japan, right? So finding this niche, finding this unique selling points of activities is the key. I think even doing a hiking in Kumano-Kodo, you walking through history and passing through beautiful landscape. The combination of that is just possible to experience in Japan in that way, right? And you're passing by temples and seeing some culture things as well. I think this is the key to offer. Like, it's not the type of activity, because you can have all this in Europe as well, even like paragliding, this and that. Like, you need to have the Japanese way, or the Japanese unique style, why it is so interesting to do it there and not somewhere else.
Thank you very much, Jens. I think that's very, very interesting, very good insights. I have seen Holger and Akira agreeing to that.
Absolutely.
Holger, would you like to add something?
Yeah, I do absolutely agree with Jens. Of course, knowing of his product, so what he calls adventure is simply impossible for us to sell, because we have totally different customers, but that's absolutely okay. And what Jens may call soft adventure is the adventure for our customers, as he gave the example of the old post route in Kiso Valley, which is a perfect example for my customers. Then you have the 3 hours hike, you start in a medieval village, you will end in a medieval village, you will have a tea break at a tea house. En route, you will have authenticity, you will meet some locals. And for our customer, it's an absolute adventure. It's a once in a lifetime thing, and they will talk about it when they return home, that they walk through the forest, they rang the bear bell and whatsoever, not to be eaten by the bears or whatsoever. So this is really part of the adventure, and it's just the definition of adventure is different for all of us in the industry. And you had the other topic with the sustainable travel, and sustainable travel, it's for me, or for us over here, it's the new normal. It's absolute normal business, and it's part of our tours. So, for example, we do carbon offset our entire trips, including the flights. We use a lot of public transportation, especially in Japan, where it's so easy, but it needs some adjustments, I think, from the Japanese side when it comes to accommodation. When I look at the one-way plastic use and so on. So we have other destinations around the world, and okay, yes, very much in Europe, where we can heavily rely on the information regarding sustainability given by the local accommodations. And I don't know any system yet in Japan. So this is quite important to us. And this is something our customers, our clients always, or nowadays, they have a look on that.
Thank you very much. I think that's a very good point. We are definitely taking this to our partners. Thank you very much. Akira, would you like to add something on that, on the sustainable angle, maybe?
I totally agree with my colleagues on that. Maybe just one add on adventure term for our clients. The most adventure is to arrive in Japan. So that is an adventure itself, and to be in that culture. And so I think for the marketing, they should rather focus on their destination than topics. And then just to point out what also Jens mentioned, that what are the unique selling points and from the destination. And I think all topics can be added with the USPs of one destination.
Thank you very much.
Bettina, may I add something about the sustainability? I left this out. I'm sorry for
yeah, sure. Please go ahead.
Because usually we think about like carbon footprint when we hear this word. This is the first thing, and I agree with Holger.
That's the different meaning.
And a lot of tour operators, Diamir is included, we taking care of this since quite a while, and it is the new normal. But the other thing is like taking care of the local communities means like, what has the local community out of tourism, right? And this means for all destinations, this is an important point to make this transparent and somehow experienceable for the clients. You know, how you can experience that your impact being there, having the overnight in a village somewhere in the Japanese Alps has an impact to the local community. Means like it's a part of the, how do local community interact with tourists? And this is a kind of exchange and also authenticity, which is a very important thing in tourism, to not showing up something, but visiting people on the spot and getting a direct response and experience from them. As Holger said, it's a once in a lifetime experience. If you meet elderly people in the tea house and you can just have a chat by translating with your tour guide and this and that. So these are the experiences which are very small things, but it's authentic and it's direct interacting with the people and community on the spot. I think this is a sustainable thing which should be also more improved and work on that. To carve this out.
Thank you very much, Jens. Also very, very good point. Definitely also the interaction with people is something which is very much important. We are really already running a bit out of time, but maybe 2 more questions I would like to address. And the first one, which is also very much important to us in our Frankfurt office, but also for the colleagues in Japan, what are the main features that the company relies on to attract customers? So how for the Japan travel products. So we hope that maybe when next year the situation is really more back to normal, then definitely Japan will be very much in competition with other destinations. So what can we do? What do you do to promote travel packages to Japan, and in which ways JNTO or the regional governments and tourism authorities can support you there? Is there anyone who would like to respond first, or is that I know the situation would be much easier if the destination would be open, then obviously you could say something in detail, and well, we can do this and this promotion. But maybe Holger, you have some input on that?
Just a very limited. We will all have to bring Japan back into the minds of our customers, because right now we are looking back onto a closure of 2.5 years, or a bit more than 2 years. And so many long-haul destinations have been open already for quite some time. And customers know, or they heard that other destinations are so easy to visit, so easy to travel through those destinations. And we really have to observe the situation next year. Also, to observe the results on and the feedback from our customers or groups that will travel this fall. So I'm a bit skeptic. We will really have to see, but we have seen quite for the first 2 years, we saw quite a lot of bookings to be waitlisted for the future. We always had full groups booked for the cherry blossom seasons in both in 21 and 22. Then we had to cancel the trips. And the 22 customers, most of them, they immediately rebooked for the following year. But that did not happen for 23 right now. So when we canceled this year's cherry blossom season, a few of them, they rebooked, but others seem to have said, okay, then let's wait how Japan decides. The world is big enough. We can travel to such a lot of countries easily. We will travel first there. So I think we have quite a lot of customers waiting to see how the situation will be, and then they are going to decide.
Yeah, thank you very much. That's very interesting. Would you like to add something? Yeah, Akira?
Yeah, Japan is still very popular for travelers in Germany. So we also have very many clients who ask once and again when will Japan open again. So it is still attracting to many persons. But recently I experienced also in my other job as a teacher in a gymnasium. The young people are more attracted now to Korean culture. So I already discussed this with Tokyo Tourism Board, and Tokyo need to promote more if in competition with Seoul, because the subculture in Korea is really attracting to young people, and Korea is now open for a couple of months, and we are experiencing many bookings to Korea because Japan is still closed, and there is some similarity in culture. Of course, it is still different, but clients say, okay, because I don't want to wait anymore, and I would like to go to East Asia. I rather go to Korea now. So there is competition, and there is need for marketing measures to keep Japan in the minds.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I think there will be quite some promotion necessary to put Japan back on the agenda of tourists. Jens, is there anything you would like to add?
Yes, I agree with Akira that the inquiries for tours to Japan, they continue, and they have never stopped actually over the pandemic times. Of course, everybody knows it is during the lockdown time, it was less because nobody knows when it will be coming back to normal. But as soon as Europe was handling the new normal with regulations of Corona and this and that, and the first countries in Asia are open, like the interest rising a lot, right? So it was increasing, and we have daily inquiries for FIT and for group bookings from clients. So my forecast for the post-pandemic times was actually that Japan would be the #1 in Far East to host foreign clients, because the clients' feeling about Japan is this is a safe place. This is everything hygienic, and they're taking care of the pandemic even more than the Germans or whoever does. But the problem is, if you have such a mountain of rules to overcome to enter the country, nobody can enter the country, right? I mean, it is really, we have the first group of 10 people arriving today, and I just got a message from our tour guide that they're stuck with the immigration and cannot make the connecting flight. You see, like, so, and this is not a normal way Japan works, right? Usually things going smooth and everything works, but now through the regulations, nobody wants to do a mistake. And actually the opposite is what they're trying to open is not the opening. It is more creating lots of trouble for many people, like means tour operators, clients and stuff. And people want to go and they want to follow the rules. They know rules from Germany. They know rules from other countries they have to travel. But it must be somehow in a frame where it is possible to travel in a way. And we have to live with this pandemic. That's my personal belief. So we cannot just switch it off and say, okay, now it's back to normal. So there must be a way how tourism and all the other things come back on stage. And Japan is and will be popular with clients as soon as it is more easy to travel in a reasonable way, right?
Yeah, that's definitely something we are all hoping for. The last questions, the last question I would like to discuss is in that line to some extent. So, what changes have you observed in your companies, in your on the German travel market in terms of preferences for itineraries and destinations, as well as in prices and insurance as a result of the Corona pandemic? So the question is, well, prices are rising since a couple of months. Does that influence the travel behavior? Are customers more observing costs? Are there changes in interests in destinations that are changing? What are your experiences with that kind of question over the last months? Jens, would you like to maybe to say something on that?
Yeah, I try to make it very short. I have the experience that not much changed from what the clients require, right? Because they want to go back to before, right? They want to go back to normal, as we call it. Like, so they not have changed their type of inquiry just according because Corona was there or Corona is still there. So I think this is not the case. But of course, about the cost, everyone is aware that things are getting more costly, and especially if it comes to long flights to Japan and other destinations, that kerosene, and also caused by the crisis in the east between Ukraine and Russia, then yeah, people know that, so they're not just shocked by wow, that is a problem now, but it also is a problem for those who don't have the budget, right? So for those people who don't care much about the budget, they know, okay, it is costly, we have to accept it, but it has an impact on those people who don't have such a high budget for these travels, of course. But I would not say that they change their way. I mean, immediately they have to find an alternative, right? They go traveling more in Europe or making a short-term destination instead of going to Far East. That might be the result, which we cannot feel immediately, but obviously this is the case.
Yeah, that's maybe something we would have to review next year, what the effects are then. Anyone would like to add something on that topic? Holger?
Yeah, maybe from my side, yes, because we are covering the entire world with our products. And we have seen a very strong tendency towards European natural and green destinations. So they have really benefited throughout the last year, let's put it this way. And of course, land-based transport. So this is currently not an alternative for Japan, but a lot of our elderly customers, they really booked bus tours towards Scandinavia or France or Italy or whatsoever, instead of traveling by plane, because maybe also the Japanese partners have heard about the flight chaos in Europe or in many places in the US and Canada, which is really putting away customers from booking flights. And it was really no fun throughout the last few weeks or 2 months traveling by plane in Europe. On the other side, yes, we have to see the results of the changes in pricings for next year. I mean, the yen definitely helps us, the weak yen, but the huge rises in flight prices are simply incredible, and there's there are just a few seats available and much less than they used to be. So it's gonna be problematic to get to Japan. Once you're there, we're not gonna have the problems, and hopefully the problems Jens just described from the airport transfer, they won't exist next year anymore, but we will have to see.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think the weak yen is a very good point, which is in favor of Japan. But of course, the flight and the increased costs for flights are maybe counterweighing that. Akira, is there something you would like to add?
Well, I think we have the most challenging time in tourism, the 2020s. And first we have the pandemic, then we have the Russian attack on Ukraine, and all the consequences. And clients are really feeling very insecure and are very sensitive in the way any news, any bad news would will destroy an inquiry. Like I can express it like that, because we have many interested clients, but any concern stops the willing of travel. And in Japan, all the news about restrictions. Yes, let's do it next year. Let's do it yes, I think next year will still not be possible. There is so much insecurity from our clients. So the perspectives are still very challenging.
So I summarize, the pandemic itself maybe has caused some insecurity on destinations, but it's not the decisive factor on making a decision for a trip. And the costs are some factor, but for Japan, there might be a good chance for next year if flight prices are not increasing much more, and yen euro exchange rate is remaining at the present level. Thank you very much, everybody, for all the valuable insights and feedbacks. There is definitely a lot of things and input for our partners in Japan to consider, and we definitely will share this with them. So I hope they can be prepared for next year, when hopefully all the restrictions are lifted and everybody can travel to Japan again. Thank you very much. So I'm going to stop the recording now, and greetings and thank you and appreciation to all of you. Thank you very much, and take care.
第3部までご視聴いただきました皆様、ありがとうございました。いかがでしたでしょうか？旅行好きのドイツ人は再び日本に旅行しに行ける日を楽しみに待っています。世界第2位の旅行大国として、訪日ドイツ旅行市場には潜在需要があります。この動画を通して、そんなドイツの旅行市場を知っていただける機会になれば幸いです。最後に YouTube の説明概要にあります URL よりアンケートのご協力をお願いいたします。これにて、ドイツ旅行会社による訪日市場ウェビナーを終了とさせていただきます。ご視聴いただきまして誠にありがとうございました。